Have roll call, please.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Crompton?
Here.
Mr. Dillon?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Rohr? Here. Mr. Russinellis?
Here.
Mr. Wonderlich?
Here.
We have a motion for the previous minutes, please.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Russinellis?
Aye.
Mr. Wonderlich?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
We got first on,
Next agenda item would be citizens to be heard on agenda items. This section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding items listed on the agenda. Is there anyone here that would want to speak on the agenda item? Just please be aware that your case will be called and you have an opportunity to speak then at that time as well. Seeing none, we can move on to old business, public hearing. We have none. Under new business, public hearing, A721, First Amendment to the annexation agreement concerning property at 3501 Shanahan Road to allow truck parking. That has been requested to be tabled by the petitioner. They feel that there's a need for them to request a zoning change for this property as well to I-1 light industrial. So both the amendment and that zoning reclassification will come back to you next month in August.
do we have a motion to table A-7-21?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Russinellis?
Aye.
Mr. Wonderlich?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye.
Moving on to the next agenda item, P421, preliminary plat of St. Francis Outlot, a minor subdivision. Under general information, applicant and owner information is listed as 1590 North Larkin LLC. The requested action is approval of a preliminary plat for a minor subdivision. Purpose of this is to create a two-lot commercial subdivision. The existing zoning is B3 general business. Location of this site is 1590 North Larkin Avenue. Size of the parcel is 10.31 acres. Existing land use is commercial. Under surrounding land use and zoning, to the north is commercial B3. To the south is commercial B3. To the east is institutional R2. To the west is commercial B3. Under site history, a variation of required parking for the shopping plaza was approved in 1985 that allowed overall parking at one space for every 200 square feet of building area. The site currently contains the original Cub Food building. A Vasa Fitness facility is proposed in a portion of that building, and a plasma center is in a portion of the existing building currently. Subject site is contained within a parcel from the previous St. Francis subdivision, which was recorded in 1991. Variation to allow two main buildings on one lot was approved in June 2020. Special information, the preliminary plat for the proposed minor subdivision will create two commercial lots in the North Ridge Plaza Commercial Center. Approval will allow the future construction of a two-unit commercial building on Lot 1. One of the tenant spaces is earmarked for a Starbucks coffee with a drive-through. The other tenant space user is not known at this time. The proposed building will be constructed with brick as the primary exterior material and wood siding as a secondary material, and you can see those attached elevations in your packet. And this meets requirements of the city's non-residential design standards. The drive-through has been reviewed by the Joliet traffic engineer and has been approved by the city council. The Vasa Fitness in the Plasma Center building will be contained on the future Lot 2. There should not be any negative impacts to the surrounding area due to this addition of this new proposal. The public improvements have been provided for as part of the previous commercial development. The future development of the two-unit building is required to pay sewer and water connection fees and the development impact fee per city ordinance, and that concludes our staff report.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Is the petitioner on hand? Please upstate your name, please.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Naylor. I'm representing Cambers and Theodore Architects with Cage Engineering.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to this?
I don't have anything else to add.
Are there any questions from the commissioners? I have just a couple. This is gonna be north of where, what's that building there? The Pancake House there.
IHOP.
IHOP, this is gonna be on the north side of that
Yes.
entranceway, right?
Yep, north kitty corner,
Is
kind
it
of.
gonna be two different buildings we're talking about, or one?
This particular case is one building, 2 tenant spaces.
Okay. So there's enough room for the drive-through, because
That was
that one in
previous.
Jefferson really gets packed at, it's all the way around the building half the time.
Yeah, we worked with them really closely to make sure that stacking was appropriate. You know, the design changed quite a lot. You know, if you know Russ in our traffic engineering division, he reviews these quite in detailed fashion and doesn't bring them to city council until he's satisfied with it. It's got escape lanes and, you know, enough stacking, and he feels comfortable with it, and city council approved it.
Yeah, you guys have a number of how many parking spaces you're gonna lose, just in case the store ever went into that Old Cub Foods?
You know, it was a minor loss, and because of the Vasa Fitness now going in there rather than a grocery store, you know, that use is not as high of a generator as a grocery store, so, we felt comfortable that, you know, this addition would not cause a parking problem, and, you know, that, there shouldn't be any nuisances, associated with it.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Any citizens that wish to make a comment on it? Seeing none, do I have a motion for, P-4-21?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Rosanellis?
Aye.
Mr. Wonderlich?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye.
Mr. Moore? I don't know if I called.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So this will go to city council, second meeting in August with the recommendation for approval.
Thank you.
Next agenda item is P-521, preliminary plat of Cherry Hill Business Park West Unit 6 subdivision, and the final plat, FP-421 of Cherry Hill Business Park West Unit 6 subdivision Phase 1. Under general information, the applicant is Northern Builders. Status of the applicant is owner developer. Requested action is preliminary plat approval of a five-lot subdivision and final plat approval of a one-lot subdivision. Purpose is to allow construction of an industrial warehouse building. The existing zoning is I-1 light industrial. Location of this is east of Cherry Hill Road and south of Ellis Road. Size of this is 102 acres. Existing land use is undeveloped industrial. Surrounding land use and zoning, to the north is industrial I-1, to the south is industrial unincorporated Will County, to the east is undeveloped industrial Village of New Lenox, to the west is industrial I-1. Under site history, the subject property was annexed zoned to I-1, along with an annexation agreement in April 2005. Preliminary, final, and recording plats for Unit 1 were approved in February 2006. Recording plats for Units 2 through 5 were previously approved from 2006 to 2018. Under special information, the preliminary plat is proposing to divide a single parcel into 5 lots to allow for the continued development of the Cherry Hill Business Park West Industrial Park. Lot 1 includes 12 acres and is also the sole lot included on the final plat. A 260,000 square foot industrial warehouse is proposed to be located on it in the near future. Lots 2 through 4 are buildable lots that range in size from 11.3 acres to 24.2 acres. There are no known users identified for these lots at this time. Approval of future final plats will be required to allow for the development of lots 2 through 4. Lot A currently contains the existing stormwater and detention areas for the subdivision. As part of this proposal, an off-site easement will be recorded to ensure its continued future use and maintenance for the park. All public improvements, sewer and water connection fees, the developer's impact fee and landscaping will be required per the approved annexation agreement and city ordinance, and that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have the petitioner on hand?
We do. I'm Ken Ninehouse with Northern Builders. Thank you.
I beg your pardon?
My name is Ken Ninehouse with Northern Builders.
Okay. Do you have anything you wish to add to this?
I do not, sir.
Okay. Are there any questions from any of the commissioners on any of this? Seeing none. Any questions from the citizens? Seeing none. I have none. Do we have a motion for P-5-21?
Before you do that, I'd just like to mention that there was something came up last minute with Public Works, that they plan to work out with the developer before it gets to city council, so, we would like this to be a conditional approval. This was just last minute, so, you know, we try to have everything buttoned up, but this came up last minute, and, you know, it should.
Public Works here, can you explain what's going on?
So, as part of the original development plans for this subdivision, there's a small piece of Cherry Hill Road north of Ellis that ties into, there's a curve where Old Cherry Hill and Mills Road connect. We had requested that we get some road improvements as part of this development. The developers indicated that they had been previously released from previous staff from that requirement, so we're trying to work that out. If that's the case, then.
What are the improvements that you guys want?
So, that road is currently unimproved without curb and gutter, and we're requesting curb and gutter on that portion of road. But again, the developers indicating that they had previously received release from that requirement. If that's the case, we'll remove that requirement, but we're still trying to.
Okay, but who were they released by? Because in the future, that means the city would have to put the curb and gutter in. That's gonna
Potentially.
cost us money.
Potentially, yeah.
That's a big, that's
Yeah,
expensive.
and I don't have the answer. I'm trying to determine what occurred in the past. But I feel that we could work it out prior to this going to council. We can get an answer one way or the other.
I would, up to the commissions, I would ask for you guys that we should table this one until they get it worked out, because that's an expensive proposition to the city. We have to incur it later on.
It is a small portion of roadway. It's not, it would be a cost, but it's not an extensive length of roadway. I think it's like 200 feet, something like
What's the distance on the curb and gutter?
that. I guess it would be double that, so about 400 feet of curb and gutter, yeah.
Was this originally under, where it's contingent where a developer was gonna buy that, and then he got out of it somehow?
I'll let
Yeah,
Ken speak.
if
Yeah.
I can. 3 years ago, I was here, it was my response for a project called Cherry Hill, which is at the corner of Ellis Road and Cherry Hill. And in that project, there were numerous negotiations. Obviously, there's residents on Cherry Hill Road, and, you know, they're not pro-development. And at that, during those negotiations, they were here at numerous meetings for that project. I think as everyone well remembers, we gave a lot of concessions to work with the residents and to work with the city of Joliet. At that time, we gave up 50 feet of frontage of our property, increased our berm from approximately 50 feet to 100 feet. We landscaped it 3 times what was planned. We even met individually with the residents and landscaped some of their properties to give additional buffers. At that time, and I didn't say we were relieved, the residents were very, they didn't want any more traffic. So they didn't want any traffic coming in from South Cherry Hill Road that would add more traffic to the district. So that's my recollection of it. And also, we don't even own that property. So all of our traffic goes east. Our traffic heads east to Gauger Road, which is the logical way to go. And the proposal that we have in front of you is approximately 2/3 of a mile east of this, which really has nothing to do with it. I heard about this last minute, and we don't even own the property that's being mentioned. And our obligations with the city for anything else that we did was Joliet did 50% of the road, and Northern Builders did 50% of the road. When we did our last development here, we did more than 50% of the road. As everybody may recall, Joliet couldn't do their portion at that time. That's why the west half of Cherry Hill did not get improved, and we actually made it wider. So we don't feel we have any obligations to this. One, this project has nothing to do with that section. 2, we don't even own the property.
So you're saying none of your traffic would be traveling down that road?
No, I mean, traffic is not gonna go to Cherry Hill Road. The logic, why would it make a loop around and go 2 miles out of its way? It doesn't, to us, it's not logical. Gauger Road is where it's closest to its proximity, and that would be the immediate way to get to the expressway. So I see no reason why anything would wanna go towards the residential district where they don't want it, improve a road they don't want. And and for property we don't even own.
I'm a little confused now. You
Yeah.
don't even own the property. Why would the city want the curb and gutter then at that point?
I don't know. I found about it last minute, and, you know, my office was, quite stymied by the request.
Mr. Chairman, seeing as I'm a new commissioner, if this is not, I think we should get a report from Public Works and from the attorney, city attorneys, on what's really happening here. And I don't think it's gonna hurt anybody if we just postpone it, table it for a month.
It would hurt.
I agree.
We have obligations with damages if we don't deliver on time, so we will.
We've got a fiduciary duty here as commissioners, and
I understand.
Yeah, I agree. So you're making a motion that
I'll
we
make
do
a
table
motion.
this?
Yes.
Is there a second on the motion, please?
I'll second it.
We have roll call to table this until it can be straightened out all the way around.
Mr. Roosevelt,
All right.
Mr. Wonderlich,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
No.
Mr. Crompton,
No.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Rohr,
No.
Mr. Dillon.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes and 3 noes.
Ayes have it. Would you like to give a report from the, your
So,
department
yeah,
then?
you'll be tabled, until the August meeting, and,
Perhaps we can set up a workshop or something.
sure,
Thank you.
okay?
Get a report from the city attorneys also, make sure everything's,
We'll get everything worked out before we
But
bring
what
it back,
exactly happened
next
a
month.
couple of years ago, because none of us, well, I wasn't here.
Yeah, the majority of us were.
Moving on to the next agenda item, number 7, old new business, not for final action or recommendation. We have none. Under public comments, this section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding non-agenda items and are allowed a maximum of 4 minutes. Is there anyone here that wants to speak? I don't believe we have anyone else in attendance for that. Lastly would be adjournment if that's your choice.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, is there a motion?
I motion.
Who's second? Roll call. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.